Hey everybody, welcome to Mr. B Clothing here, located in beautiful Clive, Iowa. Tim Sitzmann, I'm Chris Williams. Tim, we're going through your picks, man, and right now, I mean, we talked about it last time. Last year, the last 2 years, you have been right on.
You know what?
With the Iowa State Cyclones.
I can't even believe I'm doing that good, Chris.
I mean, you are
unbelievable.
They actually,
it's your leadership.
They pay me and guys like me to do this,
right.
But we need to be paying you for your knowledge on the Cyclones.
Well, I'll take a little pay. You know, the clothing businesses could be better if we could get some of you fanatics in. We have a store full of goods. We're on sale right now, Chris.
Really?
We're on sale right now, and it doesn't last very long. You know, by the 1st of August, it's all done. And we're starting to get fall in already. You know, in the hottest part of the summer, fall goods come in. So come in and see us. You'll be surprised at what you see. We have shoes to sport coats to suits to a lot of casual wear, even jeans for those guys who don't dress up much.
Got to get ready for football season. That's the key. You got to start getting ready.
Are we ready or what?
I'm pumped up and ready to go.
So am I. So am I.
All right. Up next for Iowa State, you've got the Oklahoma State Cowboys, the biggest upset in all of college football last year. Clones have got to go on the road to what I assume is going to be a little bit of a ticked-off Cowboy football team.
I would think.
Let's tell you a little bit about Oklahoma State. They got a new quarterback. He's a true freshman, brand new. He's a rookie named Wes Lunt, but he's a pretty good prospect.
I didn't know that information. That's good to know.
Justin Blackman's gone. They're really revamping that offense, Tim. But on defense, they've got a lot of guys coming back. They were a ball-hawking defense last year. They forced a lot of turnovers. Their stats weren't that great. I think that you see a big improvement on the defensive side of the football. And you know, I really believe that Oklahoma State is going to go into the season the most underrated football team in the Big 12. I think a lot of people, without Brandon Weeden and Justin Blackman, they're going to think that this team's going to make a big drop-off. But I disagree, Tim. I think that this program is to the point now where they reload instead of rebuild. I think Mike Gundy's one of the best coaches in all of college football.
Couldn't agree more.
I think this will be a tough game for Iowa State when you go
on the road. On the road's tough. You know, a little embarrassment, quite honestly, with the Cowboys last year at Iowa State, and I thought that was terrific. That's what we should do. But, you know, I honestly think the quarterback from the last year that's gone that caused that upset. I thought he had a poor game, and let's give credit to the Clones defense and what they did. I have 2 losses already on the plate for the Cyclones, and I still think they're a 7-5 team, as I said before. I have to put this down as a loss again.
Okay.
Now we're at a loss number 3. I think it's going to be closer than expected. You know, we all know that Paul's got an upset coming somewhere.
The upset special.
We got an upset coming somewhere. And this may be, I think the Cowboys will be favored considering all the things you told me. But I still think they get us by a couple field goals.
Okay, so you got Oklahoma State. I think it's a good pick. I think it's going to be a tough weekend for the Cyclones. Coming up the next week, the Baylor Bears come to town without Robert Griffin III.
Wow, that makes a difference, doesn't it?
Life without RG3, the most prolific football player in the country last year. I think really one of the most in my generation. I really believe that. So this is a challenge. Baylor loses their best receiver, their best running back, one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of college football. They still have. I think Baylor has more within that roster than a lot of people are giving them credit for. But still, you have no idea how this team's going to respond without the guy that literally did everything for them a year ago.
Absolutely, and I kind of compare the Baylor system to the Iowa State system. I think they're kind of similar kind of programs.
That makes sense.
They're loading up a little bit. The programs are getting stronger every year. You're going to lose some great players. Every program does. I think this is a closer game than we expect.
I agree.
I sure like being at home. And I think this is a win column game. I think the Cyclones, with Paul Rhodes' leadership, are developing a little home field advantage, and they love to come home. I hope the fanatics keep going out there and cheering them on and filling that stadium. That's very, very important.
I agree with you.
100%. And I think sometimes we get a little lackadaisical and they don't go to some of these games, but I think we only got 3 losses on the loss column, and I got 5 to play with because 7-5's there. But I think this is a win.
I agree. But I agree with your point. I think it's closer than most think.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are expecting Baylor to just drop off and go 3-9, 4-8.
That's not going to happen. I think it's an upcoming program.
I think it's a 6-6, 7-5 football team down there in Waco. I like Art Briles as a coach, and Nick Florence has some.
They're doing some good things.
He has some experience from the year that RG3 went down with the knee injury, so it's not like you're just throwing a guy out there who's never played played before.
Right.
And they've sent a lot of guys to the pros the last couple of years too. So
their program's there, and I think it's very similar to Iowa State's program. It's an up and coming program, and where they go is the leadership that each of those coaches give, and they're both good coaches.
All right, Tim, big sale this week, and we're going to pile people in the doors.
It's fun to have the weather cool off a little bit, but it's still summer. It's going to be summer for a couple months yet, and we have summer sale going on. We have a lot of shirts, we got a lot of pants, we got a lot of suits and sport coats. Time to come in and visit us. We can save you a little money, and not only that, but new fall stuff coming all the time. Got a great shoe department, women's shoes. For the women out there, there's some fanatics out there that are on the women's side. We got a women's store.
Keep the ladies happy.
Come in and see us. Lori will be glad to take care of you, and it's always fun to have you in the store, Chris, and have you fun. It's fun to have you dressed up in a tie. You look like a nice young man today. I like that. So.
As opposed to that the golfer that you saw me a couple of weeks ago.
You never know who you're going to see, so you better dress up when you go out. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tim, thank you very much.
It's always fun.
Love coming in here. Next time we're gonna keep going through the season.
What's the next 2 games?
Oh, off the top of my head, I believe it would be Oklahoma will be one of the games, and I'm not sure, to be honest.
And West Virginia's at the end, isn't it?
West Virginia's the last game. I've got all these games in my mind right now.
This is a tough schedule to pick, and I got to get to 7-5, so I got to pick a big upset.
Kansas too. We got Kansas.
Well, that's a win.
That's a big win for the Clones. Tim, have a great weekend.
You too. It's
saw
fun.
a lot of suits here at Mr. B's, and we will see you here. I'm going on vacation next week, so
I'm in the big city. I'm in the Big Apple.
We're both gone next week.
We'll
see you in 2 weeks, everybody.
Good.
Take care and go Cyclones.